Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Vox Markets for Monday, the 4th of October, starting off with Abingdon Health, which has been a rather spiky candidate. The plus points here, though, are the unfilled gap to the upside, which is from August, the bear trap below the 50-day moving average that we had last month, and then obviously the spike higher today. Neckline here around 47 pence, so above that, looking for the 200-day line around 69, best case scenario target. That resistance line there from January at 77. But the upside only valid while we hold above the 48 pence area and ideally above the 51 pence area, which was the resistance on the way down. So looking for an end of day close at least above 51 for Abingdon at the moment. On to Aura, which has not been for widows and orphans in terms of the price action. Was one of the best rises of the late summer, but had to retrace, as most things do in this market. Very nasty price action, I suppose, with a massive gap to the upside. We did actually hit one of our targets. We had 14 pence or so, and then we had 22, so those were hit. Obviously, didn't get to the last level at 29.30. Current situation is we'd like to see an end-of-day close back above that gap down that we had at 13.5 pence. If we can get that, then one would hope the shares could then go back up towards the 20 pence area. But bit of work to do there, and not so easy given the volatility that there is in the stock. But an end of day close back above that gap top around 13.5 would be a decent buy signal for the shares. Onto a stock which I haven't looked at for ages and may not do so for quite a while again, but here we have Bisichi making great progress, retesting or actually breaking the highs of a couple of years ago. So obviously things going well at the moment. End of day close, or the longer we remain above that old February 2020 peak at £1.20, at £1.20 close, the greater the chance of a move up towards £1.70, which is that April or early 2016 resistance line projection. Maybe that could be seen by the end of next month. So above 120, looking for 170 on Bisichi. Bit of CEO buying here for Cellular goods, which is always welcome. You can see that the stock market sort of anticipating it, but certainly they're well ahead of it in terms of the bear trap rebound and that falling wedge break that we had last week or the week before last. Current situation is above 7 pence, looking for as high as 10 pence, which is the top of the broadening triangle from June. Nice to see the way that the fundamentals and the technicals have sort of combined to give us that latest recovery in cellular goods. On to Contango, which here you can see is had the initial rally there from around 5.5 pence up to 8.5, which was nice, breaking that falling wedge. Now we've got another chance for the bulls above the 50-day moving average at 6.5 pence on an end-of-day close basis. We could retest last month's resistance at 9.25. Maybe by the end of this month. Stop loss back below 6 pence, and that gap to the upside that we had back at the end of August. On to Deltic, which is a sort of unsung hero, stock which has recovered very well, but I don't really see anybody talking about it, which is typical, I suppose. Rising trend channel here from back in September last year, above the 50-day moving average at 2 pence. Let's call it looking for 2.8 at the price channel top, and that resistance line projection. Moving on to 4D Pharma. Here we've got a situation where the shares have they're trying to recover after the recent, sort of extended breakdown for the shares. Looks like there's a line of support there running down towards 55. Above that, we could hit the 50-day moving average at 78, and perhaps even that resistance line there from February at 85 pence over the next 1 to 2 months. But we need to hold 55 pence. In the meantime, on to a stock which has been a difficult situation. Cybersecurity companies not necessarily flavor of the month unless they do something special. But here we've broken with Falanx. We've broken that line of resistance there from back in February at 1.05 pence, and above that, looking for I suppose around 1.5 to 1.6 pence by the end of next month. That's sort of breaking out of that falling wedge that we've had since February, looking encouraging for Falanx just for a change. On to Hemogenyx, where it's been a rough ride, I suppose, for shareholders. Continues to be slightly rough, but hopes perhaps that Vlad and his lab might come up with the goods over the near term. Here you can see that shares have been within this recovery channel, and the resistance line to break here around 2.05. If we can break that, then it's back towards 2.3, maybe up to 2.5 by the end of next month. But just the inkling here that we bounced off that support line there from earlier in the year, and we could make some progress. Obviously, the best case scenario here would be for the shares to break up towards that the top of that trend channel from May, size 3 pence plus. But at the moment, above the 1.7 area, looking for 2.3 to 2.5 on Hemogenyx. Jersey Oil and Gas has done exactly what we were hoping for it to do, in the sense that we've had a decent spike within this broadening triangle. The top of the triangle was at £2, or we're looking for £2. We just missed it so far at £1.98, but it's not a bad effort, I suppose. I think the shares first identified in the 120s, something like that. Certainly once they broke the 50-day moving average at £1.30. If we can get through £2, there could be another leg up, perhaps up towards the old February resistance around 250 plus, which would be quite a result. On to Keras, which I suppose is the stock of the morning to date. People getting very excited about various aspects of the shares. Here we've got a situation where we've broken the near-term downtrend line, so that's around, what's that, 0.09, and above that on an end-of-day close basis, perhaps up to 0.11, the 200-day line, and obviously after that we could get into the sort of congestion area, 0.13, 0.14, but looks like a sort of a flurry of activity and interest for Keras today so far. Finishing off with the stock which I was very impressed with last week. I think I'm probably the only one actually, but here we had a patent application for quantum blockchain, and the attraction here is that it's a patent regarding the new type of computing, quantum computing, and shares have held the spike they had in the wake of that announcement, and above, at least while we're above the 50-day moving average at 1.3 pence, looking for further gains for the shares, probably up towards the 2 pence area, which was resistance on the way down back in May for quantum blockchain. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.